Every year on family trips, we'd always come across a lonely hill in Kansas where we'd see a wooden cross. My dad would point it out to us and say with great remorse that buried on that hilltop was a cowboy on his horse. The story of the cowboy would always stay the same, and Clem Hopper was the buried cowboy's name. Silver was the name of Clem Hopper's horse. He was buried on his saddle with his boots still on, of course. It may have been a tall tale meant to liven up the drive, but the way my dad would tell it made the story come alive. To this day the cross remains with nothing near for miles, and every time we see it passing by, it makes us smile. Dad told us tales of how poor Clem and Silver's lives ended when the whole Comanche nation suddenly descended. Clem knew there were too many. He and Silver tried to run, but the braves had them surrounded, so he had to draw his gun. They fought for hours and hours until his ammo ran dry. By then the dead Comanches around them were stacked sky high. When the gunfire went silent and they knew that they were beat, they found that Clem and Silver had died standing on their feet. It may have been a tall tale meant to liven up the drive, but the way my dad would tell it made the story come alive. To this day the cross remains with nothing near for miles, and every time we see it passing by, it makes us smile. Though both were filled with arrows, Clem still held his smoking gun, and his trusty steed Silver looked as if he could still run. The Comanche couldn't pull him from his saddle to the ground, so they buried their dead around him in a giant earthen mound. And atop the hill that covered Clem, Silver and the braves, they placed a wooden cross to remember the heroes' graves. That was the tale of how poor Clem and Silver met their end, and why Clem Hopper was buried with his friend. It may have been a tall tale meant to liven up the drive, but the way my dad would tell it made the story come alive. To this day the cross remains with nothing near for miles, and every time we see it passing by, it makes us smile.